Blog Talk Radio.
Through the streets of Rage City, corruption is second nature. Safety compromised, gang violence and growing danger. Group of vigilantes flip the script and rip the page. Better protect your neck, here comes the PUNXofRAGE! Strictly underground. Strictly underground. Strictly underground. For us justice ain't given, so the punks are here to take it. Defend and protect the weak, avenge all those who didn't make it. Never turn the other cheek when facing the opposition. The only other cheek we turn is yours after a fist collision. Our mission in combat to break arms, necks, and spines. It's okay to cut for joints, shoot, we on the front line. Serious reaction, prodigy and designer. The jawbreakers, dodgers, it's headbangers honor. Strictly underground. Strictly underground.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Joe Currie.
Yo.
Yes, this is PUNXofRAGE Radio. Yes. I'm here with the legendary microphone misfit himself, D-Nick. And we're going to talk about a few things tonight, man. We got some things to unpack. You know, it's Black Friday. Everybody still probably got the Thanksgiving hangovers and such, but we still go get through this joint. We still go talk about some things. Everything related to geek culture and so forth and so on. We got a special guest. Going to bring him out a little bit, Seji Bot. He's going to talk about his upcoming projects and creator-owned IPs he have. I'm looking forward to it, so I can get to know some of the stuff he got coming out. So we'll be bringing him out in just a moment to discuss those things. And I think he told me, behind the scenes, it might be a drop. So everybody who's listening, by all means, stay on with us, and we go get into it. But as always, before we get into that, we got to go through the pull list. D, I got a couple things, not really related to pop culture, but kind of related to us. And the only pop culture thing was a pretty big one as far as how it relates. It's just gonna be a spoiler for anybody who is into Star Wars or watch The Mandalorian or things in that universe. Ahsoka dropped in the new episode of The Mandalorian. Was it season 2, episode 5, I believe? Yeah, she made her.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet.
No.
So
I'm not gonna go into it. I'm not gonna. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I said I wasn't really into Rebels, but I really like or the Clone Wars, but I really like that show, The Mandalorian. I mean, look, anything you put Carl Weathers in, I'm with, Mando, like I'm just with it. So,
Apollo, baby, Apollo,
Yes, Action Jackson.
I'm sorry, he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he actually directed the last episode. It was a pretty decent episode too. So he did good in that. But yeah,
sorry from that hiccup with the dude. The dude, he didn't. There was a shot in the scene where a production assistant is caught in it, and everybody been kind of clowning him about that. Like I feel bad for the brother.
Dude, he's been. I didn't even know.
It was a dope episode.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know this thing has a little bit of a delay, so we talk over each other sometimes. Everybody, I'm sorry about that. It's one of those things with technology in this particular platform. But But yeah, no, I saw that and I was like, wait a minute, where? And then somebody brought up the exact scene where he appeared. I was like, no. But yeah, in this episode, this week's. That was last week's. Ahsoka Tano is a fan favorite from like Clone Wars and Rebels, and I'm a Star Wars fan, but like me and D-Nick did a show about it. The last 3 films left a kind of a bitter taste, so I really didn't. I was trying to push Star Wars out of my brain until this show came along and kind of brought me back to it. She's a fan favorite. The reception has been just nuts. People have loved, I've been watching the reaction videos and the reviews, and Rosario Dawson is playing the character of Ahsoka Tano, and I mean, it's been pretty much across the board received very well. So shout out to Rosario Dawson and that whole clique, Dave Filoni, Carl Weathers, Jon Favreau, all of them over there who are making that joint thing. It's doing good. It's doing its numbers. Second, actually, is something that D-Nick is involved with. I probably will be slightly involved. I'll probably be a spectator. But D, if you could, he's on a board of a convention here in Chicago called PocketCon. And shout out to Elgin, shout out to Kendra. They run the show, and we usually have it in person. But of course, everybody knows what's going on in the world. We can't do that this year, so it's going to be virtually. It's going to be a virtual event. So, D, if you could, we probably will go over this after, later on in the show, but where could they, if a person wants to go and experience PocketCon this year, how would they do it?
You would go to the PocketCon website, and that's the easiest thing to get it. There's or PocketCon on social media, because we have a link tree to all the different, to the PocketCon website, the Virtual Artist Alley, the performances, the Discord, the Twitch, the YouTube, the Facebook Live. All of that stuff is on the every streaming platform your heart desires. You know what I'm saying? So there's the virtual cosplay competition, there's the drawing competition, and this year the cosplay competition is overseen by Terry, but it's these kids from the MCA is going to be running that, so that's going to be interesting. For my portion, music performances, we got Mega Ran is going to be performing. Lex the Lexicon artist, Substantial will be performing, and of course, yours truly, the Microphone Misfits will be getting down. And it's gonna be fun. It's different, but we're not gonna give you any less than what you deserve. Do as best we can and make it in these times, and it should be fun and keep us all connected and really support these artists. Buying merchandise, comic books, T-shirts, hoodies, caps, painting, posters, the whole nine.
That's what's up, and hopefully we'll have links when it goes. And the date exactly. It's this upcoming Saturday, not
December
tomorrow,
5th.
but next Saturday, December 5th.
December
is the day
5th.
of the
Yep.
event. So
yeah.
So we'll probably break that down a little bit more. And then lastly, the Almighty Street Team from Street Team Studios, number 2. One of the third members of this PUNXofRAGE engine, Chris Turner. Me and him are partners in that group. We just released the Almighty Street Team number 2. But if you want to go and take a look at what we have, it just dropped today. Go to streetteam.bigcartel.com and you can take a look at Almighty Street Team number 2 or any other Almighty Street Team merchandise that we have available. So that's what the shout out I wanted to give as far as that. And that was pretty much the pull list, man. I didn't really want to. Everything now in the culture moves in such slow motion because of the pandemic. When me and D do make some sort of announcements, usually it's and this will be delayed until 2022, or it'll be pushed back or something. So So, everything is, we're just trying to navigate our way through this whole thing. But, that was pretty much it for the pull list. But without further ado, I see Daryl, shout out to Spicy Call, he's in already. Shout out to D Spice. Say it here, what's up, y'all? Let me see if I can get the chat going. Open up the chat so in case people want to chat in. I know I was talking to Chris and he said it's a little bit to do when it comes to the chat, but I'm opening it up anyway. But without special ado, I'm bringing on our special guest of the night. Let me see if I got it right. Yeah. All right, Seji, I got you on, man. Welcome to PUNXofRAGE Radio, brother. This is the people said. You know how the people are. The people,
What's going on?
Man, welcome, brother.
What
welcome.
Up, bro?
Let's set this right. This is a guy. This cat right here is a Renaissance artist. He's multifaceted. He goes by many names. Shano Domo, Lunch, Sage the 64 Wonder, Nintendo 64, and tonight he's going by Seji Bot.
Yes, sir.
Word. And I wanted to make sure I say that right. I didn't want to get it wrong or whatever, pronounce it wrong. And then I was doing my homework, and what you just said, D, I noticed that too. I was like, oh, we got a whole lot happening. This should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But real quick, Seji, me and D go bounce back and forth with some questions. You told me behind the scenes about what's going on, so we go respect that. And get into it, man.
Okay.
I'll let D go first, and then I'll go back with my questions. But D, you want to start it off with questions, and then I'll go next. By all means, brother.
Yeah, man. I wanna get into Seji's his origin story, man. Like, his brother does a lot, you know what I'm saying? I don't even remember when I first met you, but I remember when you first set an impression on me. You know what I'm saying? And we was at Black Age of Comics. And I feel like you brothers, like, you was with your crew, you was the Terra 5 at the time, and I feel like your time got cut, and y'all was salty about it, but you can really tell an act that, like, really holds their weight when they have technical problems. I was like, wow, man, these cats got it, man. Look at how they muscle through these problems. And then my bandmate Solo was always in my ear about, like, the Terror Guys or SlumpKing or Mutant Black. He was always in my ear about y'all, and I was like, yeah, but Solo be having bad recommendations, so I'll be like, whatever, man. Like,
right.
And then we booked y'all at Lily's. I think Mel L booked y'all at Lily's, and I got to see the full vision and see how you guys get down. And being a performer in this geek space, I was like, oh man, these are like our little brothers. And then right. As I see you growing in your artistry, I see you drawing, and I see you doing art and doing custom design. So it's just like, whoa, man, this dude has got it together, producing, rhyming, drawing. So, like, man, let's start with the art, man. When did your art passion first kick off?
So, first off, shout out y'all. I appreciate y'all for having me. Like, greatly appreciate it. Hope y'all enjoy y'all family time and everything, whether you celebrate or not, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I'd say around the year 2017. 2017 is when I picked up an interest in it, and it was mainly because, I wanted to establish my own aesthetic, at some point, and I wanted to stop relying on other people to, like, draw my own stuff, which is like it's the same reason I got into producing. I got tired of asking people for beats and stuff, that type of stuff.
Right.
I want to take the initiative to be able to control my own creative, you know what I'm saying, output and everything. So I could do that, you know. And then I linked up with my wife. She's also an artist, and she was basically heavily into it before, you know, while I was still, you know, rapping, you know, heavy and everything, like in the studio and all. I was living in the studio on the west side at the time, but we would continuously like draw all the time, like over FaceTime and everything. And then I just started buying supplies, and then I was drawing literally every single day, you know, like every day. That's all I would do instead of like writing and stuff. Then I got a tablet, and then one thing led to another. And then I just started, you know, I got better, and I started opening up commissions, you know. And then I saw that I've made more money in art than I have in music already. You know what I'm saying? Like I've already, yeah, I've already did the numbers with that, and that included like all the, you know, when we toured, because you know, D, we've toured. You know what I'm saying? We've done that. So I've accounted for all of that merch and everything. I was just like, man, you know, it's less stressful. I can be to myself. I can be at home with my son and everything, and I can just put out this work. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Drawing is addicting. You know, just like how rhyming. I know writing and rhyming is addicting to you. You know what I'm saying? Like you just gotta do it. You know. So it's like I'm in that.
Man.
I'm in that phase of it. So that's how it started. It's basically it's snowballed. Basically, it's snowballed on me, and then here I am. You know.
That's like what's up.
Man.
And hearing you and D-Nick do multiple, like you guys both are in two worlds. You're in music as well as art and comics. I know that's, you know, but you just said it just, the choices are made easy when the numbers start calculating the right way. I got a question that I ask folks who come on who are in this thing and who, especially who travel. We're in this pandemic now, man. This whole world, this country is dealing with COVID. Has that affected? How's that affected your you know, as far as bottom line, and how have you been able to adapt to that? Like, what moves have you made that actually kind of, you know, works for you to counter what's going on in the world, because we can't really move the way we used to?
Okay. So the timing of this was, I don't know. I don't want to say impeccable, but it was timing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. My wife got pregnant with my son last year, so I'm at my stay-at-home dad phase right now. So it's pretty easy for me to like not go out because I'm, you know, watching my son all the time. So
right.
I was already winding down in terms of like performing and doing shows and everything. You know what I'm saying? I was hitting like an uninspired route, you know what I'm saying? I was still making stuff. Like I still have, like, I'm sitting on albums right now, like 3 of them, you know? But I just don't have it in me to promote them right now. So I'm just like, you know, I'm just sitting on them and just listening to that stuff, you know? But,
okay.
What was about to, yeah, like I was already winding down. So like I would already just be a homebody and not going out, and I'll just be drawing. Like staying at home and drawing really, you know what I'm saying, played a big role in me starting my own comic book or manga, you know, and dedicating the time, you know, countless hours into toiling away at those pages and everything. So the pandemic hitting, I mean, I've just been here, you know, and with the internet and with like the technology we have, you know, it makes it easy if you know what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm pretty tech savvy with like the internet and everything. I can do wonders with that. I just need the internet, you know what I'm saying, like the Wi-Fi, and I'm good.
Oh, you're more than savvy, sir. I've caught a couple of your Twitch streams, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, these fuckers are stepping it up. We gotta step it up, fellas. Come on.
Yeah, dude. Trust me, when you start making moves like that, you get watched, but like a lot. Everybody wants at least the idea for the, you know, like another hint to that key that key to success. Like, how do I get to make that work? But anyhow,
right.
Man, so yeah, you talked briefly about like you were winding down for the music. Was it just a momentum thing, or because you guys were pretty much everywhere, like I was always hearing your name. You know, we reach a point, especially as indie artists, where we turn into passion ships and we don't get to see each other much. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I always took pride in, you know, we would go out, you know, like, we would go out and we would tour. We hit the road with Mega Ran or just on our own. People would always like, oh, y'all out of Chicago? Do y'all know the SlumpKing 777? And it was like, oh, yeah, that's my people. You know what I'm saying? And, it always felt good to have someone ask us about y'all and to give y'all a good referral from our standpoint. So what made...
We was always doing shows with y'all.
Yeah. So what brought the downward spiral? Not downward spiral, but the I guess the sitting down a little bit.
The slowdown. Yeah, no, man. Honestly, bro, I was just uninspired. I got tired of doing shows. Like, okay, I mean, you should understand this because, like, y'all was in, I think y'all was in China during this time, actually. So I was basically just like, I'm tired of, like, I was tired of touring. I was just tired of being around people and doing this, like, the social aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's pretty taxing.
Yeah.
When you're doing all of that stuff, like, and when, especially when, you know, in Chicago, man, we can't really rely on too many people to do the stuff that we need done. So you got to do it yourself, or have like a very, like, how, you know, you and the Misfits, man, y'all are a close, intimate team. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can get stuff done. That's how Slump is too. But it's like, it's a lot more of us, you know what I'm saying? So it's like different, a lot more egos and everything, which egos aren't really a problem, but just life, you know what I'm saying? Like me, I just became a father, so it, like, obviously that stopped a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I know, it's a lot of y'all. And then, you know, we got families, you know, I know.
You know what I'm saying? So
Jezai and Kid Wally,
Yeah, exactly, you know? So, but I honestly was just like, I was just bored with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got tired of seeing the same people, like, you know what I'm saying, like, at these, like, events and everything. I knew I didn't have it in me to try to book any more shows out of state, because I was just like, yeah, that's a lot of planning and a lot of money. I'm good. I just rather draw right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather do that, you know? Like, I got other members in the collective that could literally, you know, that rap better than me, that I really truly believe they rap better than me, you know what I'm saying? I'm decent at what I do too. He's
being humble, folks. If you listen to his voice, he has like, how he talks is how he rhymes, except it rhymes, you know what I'm saying? This dude got the voice of God. He's got one of them, you know, Rockland Monsters type voices. And you guys are...
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Joe.
No.
I was saying, you guys were, the stuff that you were on musically was just bouncing around. The music was really like, you know, I remember, like, you were some of the earliest cats that I was hearing that was rhyming to lo-fi, like the lo-fi sound, without even calling it that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, I was hearing that music kind of creep in, and it was all just easy listening, but you guys were actually rhyming to that. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, oh, wow, man. You guys, you know, you guys really hit some curves, man. You were ahead of the curve with a lot of stuff, man. And, you know, and that's, man, what is that like, man, for you? Because it's, you know, it's bittersweet for me. You know what I'm saying? When people say, oh, you was ahead of the curve with this type of stuff. It's like, yeah, but, you know, you blaze a trail and then others walk through it. You know what I'm saying? You might not get to walk through it after you blaze it. So how's that been for you?
I mean, and you know, honestly, I'm usually just content with what I know I've done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know, like we tour a lot. Like, I'm talking, like, you know what I'm saying, you and I, you know what I'm saying? And that's something there, one thing that a lot of musicians, rappers, will not do in their lifetime, simply because they don't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I've actively tried to put people on to the formula on trying to book shows, you know what I'm saying, with people, like, setting up networks out of state, trading shows, doing all of that. You know what I'm saying? People don't want to listen, then they continuously ask me how to do this, and then that's when I'm just like, man, y'all not really
put
trying
me
to do
on,
this.
man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want to do the admin work, you know? So
yeah,
it's just
the not fun stuff.
Yeah, you know. So, but like to answer your question, I'm just content because I know all the stuff that we've done. You know what I'm saying? We used to get a lot of write-ups when the blogging area was era was like, you know, very prominent and everything. We got articles, we got all that stuff. So it's like I know, you know what I'm saying? Like I know, and we constantly are, you know, dipping into different outlets and everything. So it's like, I don't know. We're just keeping that legacy alive through different mediums, you know. And I'm not done rapping, of course. I'm just waiting for my son to get older and everything, so I don't got to be at home all the time. But, you know, in willing this pandemic, you know what I'm saying? But, like I said, the music never stopped, you know what I'm saying? I'm just in this art wave right now, you know, which I'm sure you appreciate too, you know what I'm saying, on the comic book wave. So.
But that just segue perfectly. Well, D, just real quick, I want to ask you this one question.
Yeah, go for it.
Right in the heart of it. I got folks. Shout out to Sez. He's in the chat with us, man, hanging out with us tonight. Yo, so we titled the show, and this is the question I want to get to. I hit Nubian Bay when she was on here about her joint. You know, just get to the $20 million question of it all. Titled the show "GoGo SlumpKing," which is a joint that you have. It's one of the pieces of art that D-Nick sent to us when you on. Tell us and the audience a little bit about that. What that entails, and you know, what is that about?
Okay, so GoGo Slump my first graphic novel series or manga, Japanese comic. Yeah, it's not a complicated storyline at all, really. But honestly, it's like I honestly wanted to take this opportunity to put y'all on to the platform that I'm trying to put, you know what I'm saying, that I'm actually establishing with one of my SlumpKing collective members, Khalil, or Father Kari. We I know Kari. We have we're starting a platform called On Soul Go, which is basically a monthly magazine for, you know, black content creators, you know, whom submit to our company, and then we'll serialize it in like a monthly magazine, you know. And that's how we're going to debut GoGo SlumpKing and all the others, you know. But we're doing the debut of the pilot chapters on Christmas Day. So that's like an official announcement. Like we're putting out the first chapters of GoGo SlumpKing.
We got an exclusive.
Yeah, we do. You know how the people out there.
Definitely exclusive. You know that was. You know, this is an official announcement. You know what I'm saying? Like that's that. I wanted to surprise everyone with the synopsis of the story and everything for Christmas Day, but I can give you guys basically like it's basically about.
Oh man, hit us with it. Hit us.
An 18-year-old star reader. He's a pilot who can read stars. So his whole civilization, there are a bunch of people that can read the cosmos and they gain powers from it and everything. And his dream is to be able to read the languages in all of the stars in his galaxy while defeating the guardians of them. It's real crazy. Like I have the artwork and everything drawn out for everything, and I'm releasing it on Christmas. But it's like, it's just a bunch of like cosmic fighting and, you know what I'm saying, a lot of sun lore, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to delve into like spirits and, you know, astrology and all of that, you know.
I'm resisting the urge to quote one of your songs with like on soul, I will come to save you fucking humans. Like I'm resisting.
So soul is actually the name of the energy, the power that's in that. So on soul will definitely be something you see in the. All right, I'm gonna basically say this. On soul is how they treat each other in my universe in this manga. So that's how they'll greet each other. So it's like, on soul, such and such and such and such. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be like the way of life, the greeting, you know, that's how that. I have a whole language that I came up with for this whole series and everything. So it's real, what's the word? It's real detailed. I'm going to say that. It's real detailed. But the art is going to speak for me, you know what I'm saying?
Cats are really big with that. When you have your own language. Real quick story, Joe. I was hosting a show once. And I think I was being like, the crowd was being a certain way, and I was japping with the crowd, like challenging them. You know, sometimes you do as an MC. And
right.
The guy was somebody in the crowd, and he wasn't from Chicago. Somebody in the crowd was like, after I had got off stage, he kind of was talking to me like, yo, you know, like, quit talking to us all mean. I was like, no, I'm not being mean. That's just how I MC. And he was just like, no, man, you heard, you know, he was kind of getting out of body, but, you know, really, you know, being funny stuff. And I ain't take nothing of it. It happens. And and Seji was like, hey, bro, this is what he doing. You like, he know what he's doing. Like, step off. And the dude was like, man, I'm just helping him be better with the crowd. And this brother was like, oh, so. And all of these massive people just kind of swarmed up around dude, and then dude just kind of faded away into the background.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to talk, man. Like, I already know, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, me and D have done plenty of shows together. So, like, I know how he's a wonderful MC. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can host any show. You know what I'm saying? He hosted the last SlumpFest. You know what I'm saying?
I hosted your festival.
So it was like, you know, yeah. Buddy was definitely out of body. He was tweaking. But he was definitely tweaking.
And it just, all of these people didn't know they was all peppered in the crowd, but like they've cultivated their own kind of lingo and language in their music, so it was dope that you pulling that for your manga. Like, that's, you know, like, I'm just like, wow, man, they have a well of stuff, of names and characters, and it's like, props to that, man.
Thanks,
man,
bro.
a big $1 million question. Go for it, Joe.
You asked, well, this one did hold that question though. But I do want to know real fast for the people listening. Like I know, you know, usually as artists we build these things, right? Where can they follow you? You have an Instagram or something like that, real quick, so they can know where to follow you building this. The story.
Everything is Seji Bot everywhere. Just Seji Bot.
Good. That was it. It's spelled SEJI. Everybody, BOT. So you'll know. But that was it. So I wanted to, why people, in case they don't get it. But go ahead, D.
Oh yeah, no. Thank you.
Yeah. I was going to ask. What's going off of Seji Bot before I get to that question? So what is the name? What does the name stand for, and what is it? What does it represent to you? Because you have a lot of names. So why did you?
The name Seji Bot? Well, Seji means sage in Japanese. So that's just So it's literally just Sage Bot. You know what I'm saying, on some Sage robot. And I just wanted a cool moniker. You know what I'm saying, a cool pen name, and all of that. So. And he's just a robot, so it's easy to draw him and his likeness whenever I'm doing these little, you know what I'm saying, comics and everything. So that's really it. It was that.
On the chat behind the scenes, real fast, shout out to Daryl Spicy, famed artist here in Chicago, who said on Soul, he said, man, that's that West Side lingo coming through. That's no, I don't know. I'm on the South Side. I don't know. I've never heard the term before. But Chicago's a big city, so I don't know what's true or not. But shout out to Daryl Spicer that he's listening to the show. But yeah, man.
That's
go ahead.
I give look, I give Seji a hard time. Like I'm currently fighting the resistance to calling Shintendo because that's like one of my favorites of his name. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I always give him a hard time because I would be like, man, you're confusing your fans. You're going by too many different names.
Right.
But the Seji Bot thing, and this ain't me blowing smoke. It's just I think it's dope because this is a product differentiation because this is more on terms of your manga artist writing and drawing identity and I'm big in product differentiation. Like I have a different name that I DJ under, and I've had moments where I've been DJing. I'm like, boy, if Shintendo can see me now, he'd be like, "Bro, that ain't your name. That ain't something like that. You D-Nick." Like, right. No, but I get the product differentiation. And speaking of product, man, with this magazine and this manga stuff, question. Why manga? And for people who are just ignorant, so because a lot of our listeners are comic book heads,
right,
and they blur a line, you know what I'm saying? But why, as a black dude, people who ain't seen him, he black. Like, why as a black dude manga? Like, why manga?
Because I used to be into Dragon Ball Z and all that, that was my my shit. So I would always read the mangas when I was younger. So honestly, it's crazy. I'm used to reading comic books right to left, not left to right. So like the classic DC comics, Marvel comics, I actually get annoyed by that reading format. Like I hate reading left to right. It's like I don't know, it's just weird. In manga, you read right to left specifically for the build-up in action, That's why manga is like addicting it's crazy because with the Japanese art styles, they go crazy with some of these perspectives and everything. So it's like they can do some crazy shots with the artwork and everything. And when you're reading the dialogue in the right to left motion, I don't know, it's I can't really explain it, but like it builds up the anticipation and the action when it finally like hits on the next page, Like I just don't get that same sense in Western style comics, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Since I was used to reading it like that, that's how I got used to drawing. I tried drawing left to right comics just to be easier to please readers over here, you know what I'm saying, out west.
Yeah.
And for like Instagram and stuff, if I post my manga on Instagram, I can't post it the way I want to because Instagram doesn't swipe right. It's left to right, So I would think about stuff like that, like, man, I should draw like a little comic that's like left to right just so that I can have it on Instagram that can give me some numbers and everything to my page. But I'm like, nah, like I personally wouldn't know how to build up the action that way, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just am used to it's just that reading format, honestly, right to left. That's why I prefer manga over traditional comic books.
Man, you just saw me, man.
Go ahead, D. It's just a concise explanation. I appreciate that. Like that's wait, real fast, D, was just because we had a question in the chat from Sid. He says, "What's the exact name of the magazine and site?"
The exact name is Onsoru Go, ONSORUGO, and the website on CO.
Hello? Wait, say that part one more time. You broke up just a little bit. The last part.
On sorugo.co.
Okay.
Onsorugo.co.
I'm going to put that in the chat. Let me see if I can put that in the chat.
And
go ahead, D.
So manga is cause I was ignorant to I like certain anime. And I'm not comfortable necessarily calling myself an anime head because I like a lot, but I like what I like. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey,
that's
I'm right there with you, bro.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I love Gatchaman and Cowboy Bebop and Lupin the Third and Speed Racer,
Speed
Afro
Racer,
Samurai.
yeah.
Yeah, so like I'm all over the place with it, you know what I'm saying? So with manga, plus I'm dyslexic, and I was like, wait, it's right to left? Oh no, I read bad enough as it is. I just got this regular thing, you know? So I didn't know that it was a technical thing with manga. Like I thought that it was a cultural thing, or it might be both, where it's just like, you know, I've heard people talking, like, and being in places, and, you know, and being at Anime Midwest and all those type of places where people, especially during the cons, like the black cons, like the black cons, where they, you know, they get mad, where it's just like, you know, dress up, cosplay as this Afro-Nubian character, like, why you being, you know, and the kid, like, I want to be Goku, or that's Japanese, and it's like, okay, I always assumed, probably stupidly, that manga was just Japanese comics, but there's a technical thing to it. How have you felt or responded or dealt with that? Just like as a black dude that's definitely a lover of Japanese anime and manga culture, and definitely treats it with respect. But, you know, there's always people, especially now, is like cultural appropriation and blah 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 blah. Like, how do you handle that and navigate in those criticism or critiques?
Okay, so I'm gonna be completely honest with you, bro. And it's like, I don't know, you should already know how I just be talking, bro. Like, bro, ain't nobody came at me yet for that, bro. And I don't know why. Ain't nobody came at me yet, bro. And I don't know. Maybe I'm not at the level yet where nobody cares enough. You know what I'm saying? But I know that if they ever did, I'm gonna say this: I've developed thick skin just by being a rapper, an upcoming rapper in Chicago. So anybody's preconceived notions on me or whatever, bro, I really don't care. If we being completely honest, I really don't. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get distracted. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to put out my stories, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already know how it is. I'm a part of a lot of these, black art and anime groups and everything on Facebook, you know? So I see this every day. Every day, this appropriation or someone shaming, you know, another artist like myself who's interested in the Japanese culture, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. You know, other fellow manga artists who get shamed for, you know what I'm saying, not putting enough, you know, black representation into their, you know what I'm saying, manga. And honestly, that's pretty trashy, you know what I'm saying? Some people they can tell their stories how they want to tell their stories and everything. But me personally, that wouldn't affect me not one bit, like, at all. Like, it's actually laughable.
That's what's up, man.
It is. And I would say this. I used to ask about that. Like, I used to try to figure out, like, I mean, me and D had a show, we brought it up in one of the shows about how anime in the United States was starting to surpass, and manga was starting to surpass American comics and traditional animation that we had it here in America. And it was like, you could, I remember, I was trying to figure out, I said, well, why? And I remember back in the day, I'm a little bit older, watching, like, this is before, like, manga anime was, like, a thing. I mean, outside of, you know, Gotcha Man and stuff like that, you know. When I used to look at some manga stuff, what I will say is they go all the way with it. They do stuff with their stuff, and they just go all the way. They just say, you know, this is a superpower here. What? She can turn. I remember watching Read or Die, and they could take paper planes and turn them into actual real dragons and do just off the wall stuff. And I came up, you know, following the traditional, you know, you got your Superman, your Batman and such. So that was kind of like my inspiration. But you see some of the kids now, or some of the folks coming into it, and it's just that thing. I think that's what's grabbing like how the energy of like say Image or something like that grabbed our generation. It looks like, you know, manga more and more is grabbing that generation. Because now when I go to conversations, I hear more about Dragon Ball Z, more about stuff like that, you know, Bleach and these things than say the traditional Justice League, X-Men. I mean, it's still there, but I think it's just an energy that's felt. But And I used to do the same thing. I used to wonder, like, if you were a black creator, putting some representation in your comics. As I got older, I stopped really caring. I just said, do what you do. If it's good, then I'm with it. Just
that's what it really is.
Just make it good.
I have an issue with the whole. I did an interview somewhere else where somebody asked me about it was a lot of Caucasoid women who were interviewing me about something about hip hop, and you know what I'm saying, and they were all Caucasoids, and they asked me about cultural appropriation, and I was like, listen, here's the thing, nobody, for me personally, and I'll even stand on this as fact. Nobody cares about cultural appropriation. That is the biggest bait and switch I've ever seen or heard. People care about credit and kickback. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, if you go to Africa, I've been blessed to go, like, they're making anybody an African chief. You go to Ghana, they're going to, and they like you, they're going to make you an African chief. The people go out there, whether whatever you are, whatever ethnicity, they're going to braid your head and give you box braids because they want their culture to be appropriated. Same with us in hip hop, man. Like, is unapologetically black, but if you a dope white boy and you spitting, like, you get love. Same with basketball, all of that. People just want credit for their expression, and they want some kickback, like, and I think I think fighting cultural appropriation, personally, I feel like it's trying to undercut our paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was a thing like that, then we wouldn't have been able to go to China because ain't none of them black. You know what I'm saying? Out there,
right.
Chongqi, like, they, but they love our stuff and our culture and our T-shirts and our logo, which is unapologetically black. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, man.
And
I don't see that being a problem for you either, Seji. Like, cause you give them credit and kickback. So like, yeah.
But see, and you know what's crazy though?
Go ahead.
What's crazy, Seji?
It's crazy because the way I see it, man. Well, look, okay. I really don't care about appropriation either. But what I do know is that everybody wants to be black. And I know that. And I've seen it. You feel me? Everybody, they adapt our culture into everything. So it's like, why not? Why can't I make Japanese comics? Y'all got people over in Japan that bleach their skin to look like us and act like they do hip-hop and shit. Like, I've watched documentaries, though. That's why I go into this. I'm like, man, we all paying homage. Like, cut the crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't tripping on y'all doing that shit over there. Just as long as ain't no inbound being dropped, we all cool. You feel me? So it's just like, I don't know. It's a trade-off. Y'all pay homage to us. We gonna pay homage to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like that. What'd you call it? That kickback.
Yeah, credit and kickback, man.
You know what I'm saying? So like, as long as we doing that, it's all good. So
yeah. You got time? I think I got a caller. They might want to talk to you real fast. You got time for a minute?
We're good.
All right. Good. Hold on 1 second. All right, caller, you on live on PUNXofRAGE Radio. Welcome to the show. Got anything to add to the conversation or questions for Seji Bot?
Absolutely. Peace and blessings. This is your ever-loving, friendly neighborhood sensei of soul. Just wanted to pay, respect to Seji. I've been following his work online through the Facebook platform. We have a lot of mutual friends, including your present company and D-Nick, the Microphone Misfit. One of the conversations I've had multiple times with D-Nick regarding kind of some of the technical differences. You touched on how manga flows in differently from right to left versus left to right. But one of the things I've kind of discussed with like D-Nick regarding some of the differences in the way it's even created that I'd like for you to maybe elaborate on is that in American-style comic books, you know, Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, they created Spider-Man over 40 years ago. Since then, you know, you've had Todd McFarlane, you know, on Spider-Man. You've had all these different creators dip in and within the episodic adventures of Spider-Man add their thing and kind of like carry stories in whatever direction they want to go, dip in and dip out and pass it on to the next person.
Right.
As being a fan of both manga and American and Western style comics, I know that like with manga, you have mangaka who are with a series the entire time, like from its inception, the start. Like no one else, it's like not really guest writers popping on, not really guest artists popping on. It's in the space. It kind of creates this thing of like, you know, it's one creator with their vision and it's getting executed all the way until the end. With that being said, can you first, I kind of would like to know how far in advance have you planned like the epic that is on So To Go, and can you speak to just that difference in like the process of like planning it out versus like the very short-term episodic style of the West?
Okay, so to answer your question, I honestly, my project specifically, GoGo SlumpKing, I've probably plotted the first 5 chapters of it to this point, you know, and then like I know how I want the story to start and end, but you know, feeling it the middle part, you know what I'm saying? But in terms of the process of it, yeah, you're right. There's a big difference because there's some mangas that I know that have like, you know, they have their co-writer or they have like what is it? You know, assistant artists and everything. Actually, on So To Go, the platform that we're launching in February, like officially, we have a manga on there, and it's comprised of a team. So it's probably like 6 people on that team that work on that manga, and they, you know, artist, writer, color, the colorist. My bad. I think they have like a marketer, you know what I'm saying, marketing agent and everything. But yeah, I don't know. It's definitely different. I know with my project, I have an editor. It's just me and him, you know, and that's probably how it's going to stay, just because it's easier because it's deadlines. Are you familiar with Shonen Jump?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so
I definitely follow a lot of Shonen Jump titles.
Okay, so we're basically modeling our thing off of theirs. So they were going on a weekly format. So those manga artists were literally cranking out 25 pages a week to meet a deadline for a weekly magazine. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. I had to actually plot the rollout of this project based on how we wanted to do on So To Go. We're going to do on So To Go monthly as opposed to weekly. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not a manga machine like that yet. You know what I'm saying? So we indie creators. You know what I'm saying? So we try to get that bread first, and we get the funding and all of that stuff to put more creators on, because that's mainly what I want to do this for. I want to have just a platform where we can build a community of diverse creators, not just, you know what I'm saying, not just black, you know what I'm saying. We can have everybody, you know what I'm saying. Like a lot of these companies nowadays that are, you know what I'm saying, for black artists aren't really for black artists, you know what I'm saying. It's literally just for money, you know. Right. I just want to create stories because I used to love reading Shonen Jump when I was younger. So I want to make something similar and something for my kid to mess with when he gets older, you know what I'm saying. Like that's what I want to do, you know. So it's a whole nother driving force to motivate me to finish that. But I don't know. It's that all falls into the process of making that for me, and just like the influence of manga, you know. So it's just it's a complicated process, though, very technical indeed.
who are some of your who are some of the most influential mangaka like creators that you inspired by and are continue to be inspired by within like that format?
Oh, that's easy. Akira Toriyama from Dragon Ball, author of Dragon Ball, author of Dr. Slump. Type Kubo, author of Bleach. Masashi Kishimoto, Naruto. Yeah, the list goes on. Rumiko Takahashi.
And all those I'm actually familiar with.
You said what?
And then all those I'm actually familiar with. People who know me know I'm manga and anime. I'm not strong. I'm sorry to everybody who ever gave me something to read or watch. But those were some I actually know. That was it. Sensei, do you have anything else? Did you want to?
No, just props. Continue creating your vision, brother. Like I said, I don't even think we've really had many chances to exchange words, but like I said, we have a lot of friends in common. So I mean, your stuff caught my eye. I'm glad PUNXofRAGE had an opportunity to have you on, and man, keep up the great work.
Hey man, I really appreciate that, man. Hey man, whenever, man, you can always, reach out and everything, man. I'm always down to build, chop it up. And I, definitely can show you some sneak previews of the manga, man. I'm always trying to show off pages and stuff. I don't like posting them crazy, but man, I'm not even gonna lie. Look, here it is. I've been working on this pilot, and I'm damn near like 70 pages into this pilot, and I ain't trying to I drew 70 pages. I drew 70 pages, but I'm only trying to release 27 of them on Christmas. So it's like, okay. I definitely have a lot to preview and everything. So man, I appreciate, the support, and I appreciate you for following my work. So just, man, reach out, man. I didn't even know, what I'm saying?
No doubt. I appreciate it.
We in Chicago, especially Sensei, always blessed to have you here, man. Anytime you want.
Thanks,
man. Thank
SOS.
you. Coming down, man. All right, how was Sensei, ladies and gentlemen? Give him a quick little these people. So it's about that time in the show, and D-Nick know where I'm going with this, and the people who listen to this, they know where I'm going with this, and Seji, I got to put you on the spot, man. I got in this moment, forever and ever. I need to know, your top 5 MCs, your personal top 5. Who do you vibe with and have your personal top 5? This will be forever and ever encoded in digital world.
Damn.
No, I'm just kidding.
You really? You put me on the spot.
I'm just, but I always do. You don't have to. If you want to answer a little bit later, that's fine. But just your top 5.
I would actually be sitting here thinking all night, bro. For real.
Oh man.
I know too many.
Okay, no worries. I won't. I never put the pressure on. Even though I still need the top 5 before you leave, sir. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm joking. Don't. You don't have to, because I know it was certain people we had on here, and they got personal. They know certain MCs, and some of those folks, as many people consider in their top 5, they didn't want to. They didn't want to do that. So.
Oh no, so I wouldn't even care about that. Okay. Hey, you said it's gonna be here forever, man. I can't just say anything,
Yeah, that's the sauce that Joe put on it. My top 5 changes every mood.
Yep, D-Nick said that when we had him on the show before he was hosting. He came on and he was like, "Man, that could change." And somewhere on this, if you want to go listen to it, it's the first show with D-Nick. He got his on here too. Every guest who's been on here who I asked, they usually say it, but yeah, no, it was just if you can, that's cool. If not, it's all good. But
I'm gonna be completely honest with you, man. I'll tell you this. I'll give you my top 3 favorite Chicago rap groups.
Okay, that's cool.
Because the individual, I can't hear it. Well, I'll tell you this. SlumpKing 777. Hey, what's up, y'all? You know what I'm saying?
Word.
I rock with y'all.
Chicago stand-up.
You know what I'm saying? Pivot Gang. You know what I'm saying? I rock with Pivot Gang.
Pivot Gang is dope. Yeah, Pivot Gang.
And the Misfits, man. You know, I rock with the Misfits, man.
That's
real.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
I'm doing real.
Yeah.
Cause ain't no other group I know that sound like me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
dude, thank you for saying that. See, I sound like a broken record when I be telling this to D-Nick like a lot, and it's like I'm glad you said that, and I'm glad I got this forever and ever, amen. On this, because I be saying the exact same thing you said about D&M, you know. So now I don't feel like I'm alone in that. But yeah,
it's real.
No, that's good. We'll take that. But that was pretty much. You know me, what I had, man. I don't, like I told, you know, behind the scenes, you told me what was up. So, you know, I didn't really have too much more. You know, if you want to stay on a little bit longer, that's fine. But if you need to cut out, you know, that's all.
I have a question, man. That's really that you kind of touched on that like a lot in the conversation that I think is really important for indie creators, man. What is, you know, because we all do it. Like, we ain't front. We're professionals. We're artists. We're creatives. But we got families. We got lives. We got bills. We ain't no prima donnas here. We're blue-collar artists. You know, a lot of people think as creators it's two levels. It's rich and famous, or it's broke struggling in your mama's basement. And they forget there's a whole middle section that we all occupy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So one thing you right, like it's either you rich or famous, or you just a bum in your mama. You know, it's like, no, we're in the middle, climbing up the ladder.
Right.
But you said you started drawing in really seriously in 2017, and then you know when Sensei asked you was like cranked out these 70 pages. And man, what is your like creative schedule? Like, how do you have a schedule? Or do you just pick times, like I need 5 minutes this day, or like what is your creative schedule?
All right, let's break it down.
One.
I'm literally this is every day, okay? Every day I wake up at like 4 a.m., right? I wake up at 4 a.m. and I just be up. I smoke my blunt. I'll probably make me coffee.
Wake and bake.
Yeah, you feel me? And then I literally just hop on my computer, and then I just draw. You know, I'll put on some Legend of Zelda music. You know what I'm saying? The orchestral versions. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I have the water running in the back to create that. You know what I'm saying? That ambience. You know what I'm saying? I do that for probably about 5 hours, and then my son wake up, and then I do that for about 2 hours. Then I hop right back into it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, and then I see anything about it is I'm a part of a lot of these Facebook groups. So I be trying to do drawing sessions and stuff. So I'm always like just drawing. And if I have commissions and stuff too. So it's just, if I'm not working on my own stuff, I'm working on that type of stuff. So definitely, like, from the early AM till like noon, I'm drawing the comic or doing like promo art for it. Afternoon, well, you know, fatherly duty. Then,
right.
Around supper, I hop right back to it. If I'm not drawing, I'm playing Apex. You know what I'm saying? I'm on my PlayStation playing Apex, but I haven't done that in weeks because I've been drawing. You know, so yeah, I draw probably about 80% of the day. So yeah, my whole day is comprised of just drawing.
Dude, that's what's up. Like that was a great question, because I usually ask about the process. You know, what artists do, because everybody got like a particular. If you talk to like 10 artists, each of them are gonna have a different way that they get into that moment to start, you know, creating it. So I tend to get that question. That was a great question, D, because, like, you know, some folks think, you know, oh, it's just drawing. You know, you got to worry about those kids. You got to worry about the house. You know, what the day job is like, have one. And I saw on your like, Facebook, I think you set a goal. You was like, I want to make like $10,000 in like X amount of days.
Oh yeah,
you know?
It's real, man.
Yeah,
but that's a legit goal. And if you find that niche in art, you'd be surprised. Some of these artists, like especially when the Comic-Con circuit was open, Daryl, shout out to Spicy. Spicy said gin and juice get some gold. Nobody want to do that, Daryl. But some artists were making like a caboodle. They were making money doing like commissions and stuff. So you could that's when this world opens back up again and we able to travel and do such. It's you be, especially if you find like that little niche. Like for instance, I mean, people say you're not supposed to do it and whatever it is, but people still do it. But people used to, if you ever been to a convention, they'll have Artist Alley where a lot of artists do commissions or whatever the hot new thing is. And so we all thought coming into this year, coming into 2020, this Baby Yoda thing was going to be, but you can't just draw Baby Yoda. A lot of people do it. They'll like find a niche to it, like some kind of, they'll kind of do it a certain way that makes it a little different than what it is and put it out there. And man, I've seen people go home with like bundles. So that's shout out to you for having that goal and then that work ethic, dude. I haven't seen more in a minute because that's whew. But it takes that to get it done. But I like that because it shows that if you're an artist, if you want to do this stuff, there is a way. If there's a will to do this, there's definitely a way to get it to get it done. So yeah, man, that's fantastic. I think, dude, this was great. I can't. This was, I learned a couple things tonight. I got a couple little, I got some homework I got to do about these Chicago groups. Like some misfits, man. These boys, man. I'm gonna tell y'all something out there. There's some bad boys out there. But anyway, I'm just tripping.
For real,
no,
for sure.
That was it, man.
You speaking the truth.
Not for nothing, man. SlumpKing is a huge collective. A lot of dope people. You know some of the people that is down with their team from, like Coach D Soulstar and
the captain. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and Captain Coach E Soulstar and Josiah the Dishwasher and B Water, Cool Ridge, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many of these cats that I'm not finna name all y'all. Don't get mad at me. Y'all probably gonna get mad at me, but it's all good.
real fast. As far as Chicago hip hop go, and everybody listening, we're gonna take a quick left turn and we're gonna bring this thing back. But just for my own curiosity, are you guys familiar with an artist name? His name is, when I was growing up, his name was Thigamajig. Are you guys familiar with that? Okay, cool. All right, just making sure.
He's on my first album. I did a song.
Okay,
Joe, I did a song with him.
I said, is he real? I think he changed his name though to something else.
No, he has a lot of names. He's like Seji. He has a lot of names. He's Thigamajiggy, Sharkula, Mr. Dippy, Dirty Gilligan, all of that. Yeah.
Okay.
He's talking about Sharkula.
Okay.
That's a Chicago thing, everybody. It's just one of those things. Like he was around for a long time, and these are both Chicago MCs. So I just want to know where they familiar. But that was it, man. That was pretty much all I had, man. I kept it slim, because I know, we had to get the information out. But yeah, man, it was a pleasure. D, you have anything else you want to, hit our man Seji with?
I just thank you again, brother.
Sir.
Like, I appreciate you. Big fan of y'all. Like, I love y'all dudes, man, and all of y'all. Like, I love y'all team and your squad, and I'm happy for your success and you and your family. Like I said, it always, like, I'm so not a hater. You know what I'm saying? You one of them cats that made me realize, like, wow, I'm really not a hater. You know what I'm saying? Because I would just hear y'all name. I didn't realize how important it is, like, to have good standing with people. To, like, people be like, oh, do you know the Terror 5 or the Terror Guys or SlumpKing? Or they say all the names. Like, yeah, them my peoples. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, oh man, cool, they're good dudes, and and it's just like, man, I'm really happy for everything that all of y'all do, individually and collectively. You know what I'm saying? So keep doing you're doing. Blessings to your family. Proud of you on that end, and definitely gonna be hitting you up, man. Like, I mean, this brother gave me some advice, man, because we were booked for Anime Midwest like this past summer. It obviously didn't get to happen, but they commissioned us to do a song. It was like, could you do a anime theme song? And it was like, okay, and us being us, we did a whole EP, and I was just like, man, is this corny? Did I do this right? I just picked the anime I like, and so I just picked the shit I like, and I hit up Seji, I hit up Sage, and I was like, yo man, Nintendo, what this sound like? And he was like, it's cool, bro. It slaps. But
then again, but to be honest, because Seji got that background, he was literally the perfect person to act. Like, who between worlds, and could address it. Yeah, man.
Look, man, let the best knower of something be his teacher. Let the best knower of something be his teacher. So I get that to little bro, like, hey man, am I doing this right? I just picked the shit I like. I don't know how it's supposed to go.
No, that's for real. Hey, no, that shit is slap though. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey.
It is. Again, next year when they can go perform that stuff and at an anime show, I told D, when I heard, I said, dude, and I'm like I said, people like they drag me because I just don't know enough. I know like the outer rims of things. But like I knew that. I knew some of the ones that D-Nick was references, like especially like the speed race and all that. But
right.
But yeah. So yeah, man, we said you let people know one last time, man, where they can find you and the debut of Surigo and when it's coming out. One last time, so the people in the back can hear.
All right. You all can follow me everywhere at Seji Bot. SEJIBOT. On our publishing company, will be launching our first magazine issue in February. We're doing a pilot release on Christmas, though, so that's going to be our next big release. That's going to be the day my manga, GoGo SlumpKing, also debuts its pilot chapter. So on Christmas, I'm going to be doing a lot of promo, you know what I'm saying, leading up to that. So, if you follow the social media, then you're going to be in tune with that, you know what I'm saying? So just do that, and then we good. Also, I wanted to say thank you to you all for having me, you know what I'm saying, allowing me to share my, thought process on these, you know what I'm saying, the details on making manga and, like, just my input and everything. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you, D-Nick. I appreciate you, Joe, man. Like, for real. So.
Dude, it was an absolute pleasure. Yeah. Because like I said,
always,
we like
always.
2 degrees apart. Some of the people I know, like I didn't know, like Koshi was part of your crew. I remember him from way back in the day. Like I know him, So yeah, so it's just cool to know stuff is like that. But yeah, man, absolute pleasure. When this thing drop, we gonna have you back on to talk about more of this type stuff, man. And so. Yeah, this is great. So our time is running low, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you the shut up. But you know how the people are, D. And you All right, have a good one, man. Peace and blessings to the family. Until the next time we talk. Talk to you in a minute. Peace.
Later.
There we go. Let me see. Is everything good? Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me, D?
Yeah, I'm here. We're here.
Okay, cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was our special guest, Seji Bot. Oh, yeah, man, that was great, man. Just hearing about, like, the project he got coming. Christmas Day, as they say, he's dropping it. To find him, you can go to social media, all things Seji Bot, SEJI and then BOT. To find his whereabouts and what's going on, and to know that he's promoting this, when what you can expect and how you can order it yourself and what platform it'll be on. So go and get at look-see.
And also, like, Bandcamp is doing December 4th. Bandcamp is doing their Bandcamp days. So his music is under Sage, the 64 Wonder. Which is Seji, like he explained, the Seji Seji is Sage in Japanese. So if you go on Bandcamp, you can download his music, Sage, the 64 Wonder. And if you do it December 4th, you can get like all of, he'll get all of it because Bandcamp waivers their processing fee. So for us musicians, we get 100% of our money, on Bandcamp Day. So definitely if you got some indie artists that you like to support, like say the 64 Wonder, definitely do that. They'll do that for us in the fits too. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they. Like for Seji, they got he probably got some gifts in there. Like, so if you download the music, you might get some really cool artwork and all that type of stuff. I know for us, if you download our stuff, you get the digital comic and everything. So yeah, like December 4th is Bandcamp Day. So definitely support these Renaissance artists. Yeah, Sage the 64 Wonder is his other name that his music is under. Yeah, man, it was good. I learned a lot, man. I didn't know the structure. I knew about the rights left, but I didn't know I just didn't know the whole structure and what that probably does for somebody, like the momentum of reading it right to left. You know what I'm saying? Like that gave me something to think about.
Yeah, man. It was a friend of mine. Shout out to Whitney. He wanted, and there's another thing. Sometimes some manga, to me, like I don't want to sound corny, like how you said about the like what to properly reference. Like, because I told somebody, I follow anime. I watch Avatar. I watch people like anime heads look at that and go, what? Like it's considered, but not really. But a buddy of mine had been. He wanted me to read Battle Angel Alita for years, probably decades now. And I think I got one, and I kind of halfway, I just never, I don't know, I couldn't get into it. And so now, the years passed, I got to go back, pick up some of the ones, get advice out of some or what some of the good ones are, and just go into it, because it's definitely a wave that's in the United States. Like, it's definitely here. It's here to stay. And to be honest, like I said before, I hear more conversations about like Dragon Ball Z or Naruto or stuff like that than I do about, say, Spider-Man. And also with the younger generations, like that's really kind of where their ear, where their eyes and mind is at. So I got a lot of homework to do, just to get into that world. But with the last remaining few minutes, I said at the end of the show, we kind of put the bookends on this. As far as what's going on, the Pocket Con is coming next week, Saturday. And shout out to Kendra and the family, because they went through it, man. They just had a bout with this stuff. So, they on the mend now, and so for them to come through all that and be on on the other end of it now.
Big up to Kendra and John and their kid, and and they're pulling through, and I've seen them. They're doing good. They're healthy. They fought the fight, and so props to them, and they're still hustling along, man. We're still getting this PocketCon machine ready. Really gonna have some dope performances out there, and video game tournaments and drawing tournaments. You go to PocketCon.com, you can get all of that information for the drawing contest, and enter it and see if you can be a part of it. I believe Ashley Woods is a part of that. Damian Hampton, and I'm not sure everybody, but there's a couple of our names that are in there. So it's gonna be it's going to be different, you know, and this may be how things go for the foreseeable future with the virtual stuff, man. So we're getting used to it.
We was talking about that, man. How cause I remember, it's funny. I remember there's another show here called in Chicago called WakandaCon, and then when COVID first really in late March started getting going, me and Chris was gonna do a show, and I said it'll be over by July. And I was about to pay the money to get the table and reserve the table and everything. And some told me why don't you just wait a bit, because I don't know. And I did. And now that's become. I think people are gonna be a little. It's gonna take a minute for shows, live shows, because I've seen some, and I've seen people kind of show up in earnest too for some of these shows. But for the huge, massive shows, I think that's gonna be a little bit off before. I don't know. I just don't see it. I'm with you, D. We gotta have to make the best of what we can with this virtual stuff, at least for the foreseeable future. But yeah, man. So I want to shout out everybody who was listening tonight. We had a nice little audience tonight. Shout out to Seji Bot for coming through and really just letting us know about the project and when we can expect it. It sounds dope. So I can't wait for Christmas so I can get my first episode. Shout out to Sid, everybody, Daryl. This was a fun one. I really enjoyed myself. And then next time you're on here, Seji, we're gonna have to get that top 5. So have it ready. I'm just joking. I'm really serious. No, I was just kidding. No, but we gonna have that top 5 ready. But I think that was it, man. D. I'm gonna give a shout out to our producer Chris Turner. He's always handling our flyers and everything and making us look really good. Check him out at DialXS, DialExCES.com or AlmightyStreetTeam.net. For me, PUNXofRAGE.com and PUNXofRAGE everything, PUNXofRAGE. And then D-Nick, where can the people find you, good sir?
Oh, man, you can find us on all social media, and Twitch. Twitch is under the Twitch is under my name, and it's just all one word, D-Nick, the Microphone Misfit. But everything else is the microphonemisfits.com. It's microphonemisfits.com. TheMicrophoneMisfitz. The Microphone Misfits. Who else could it be? Grab yourself a hoodie. It's getting cold. Grab a Misfit hoodie. Grab hats, scullies, shoes. We have it all on our website. Gear up. It's Christmas time. It's Black Friday. So why not buy black? Also, our website gives you a link to the Bandcamp. So if there's anything in our catalog you have not gotten, December 4th would be the best day to get it because they're waiving their fee. So whatever you pay for, we get 100% of that money. No, nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Say what?
Also, Also, we're going to drop tomorrow. This is an announcement. We're going to drop a music video, the 4th and final video from the Midwest Anime EP, Gotcha Man. We're going to actually drop that video tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that on the YouTube channel.
Link me to it, sir. You guys heard it, man. That was it. Our outro, Pumps and Rage by the Microphone Misfits. You know it. Peace, everybody. Y'all have a great weekend.
Peace.
The violators, knucklehead crumbs and chain snatchers, terrorizing with numbers, attitude and stature. Playing tough guys, but really chatty patties, picking on innocent women and children just like Gabby. Tacky, driving Rage City furious, but the one bringing the fight to them, serious. Put hands on you, feet and elbows. She's down to knuckle up with any and all foes. Her bros B-boys, roughneck skaters, Rico, Charles, known as the Jawbreakers. Handle you today and not mañana. With the one-woman army they call Azana. Biker, duplicator, putting you in traction with the divine cleric and elder name Reaction. Vigilante justice, no apologies. Geneticists with bronze, we lead to prodigy. Speaking of brawn, this last cat's a massive titan. 3 bats, a hockey mask, and a knack for fighting. The Dodger, smash your head and rib cage. Violators beware, they are the punks of rage.